And good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. I'm Wave Meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to the blog today with an update on the current setup, long-term, and any other fun little nuggets I have a chance to share with you guys. Not a bad setup. We had temperatures this morning on the cool side. I'm not sure if you have a home thermometer. If you do, let me know how low you went last night. I think one of the coolest I saw, especially in Meade County, once again, Brandenburg, right around 45 degrees this morning. Now, that's going to sound like a heat wave in January. We're like, oh, 45, who cares? But right now in September, yeah, it sticks out. Louisville, right around that 55-degree mark, some cases 56. At my house, it was about 51 that I dropped to, which, by the way, my tortoise, Harry, he's still outdoors. His threshold is roughly about 49, 50 degrees. He came close, although he's got it relatively heated set up in the nighttime hours, so he was fine. Checked on him this morning, and he was mad that I woke him up. So sorry about that, Harry, for watching. But eventually, he's going to have to go inside, and that'll be just a few weeks away. But for the rest of us, have to be out. This is beautiful weather for sure outside. Hello, how you doing? One of our Bots fans. Hi, Emma. How you doing? Yes. A reminder again, the winter forecast coming out Halloween night. Okay. Several things I want to address today. I feel like I say that a lot, and I think I do. Let's begin with, well, I thought I had the camera set, but I guess I didn't hit the right button. Sorry about that. But Louder Than Life, of course, is our Bourbon and Beyond is taking place today. Louder Than Life next weekend. The stage looks good. Everything's fine there. Here's a quick update, though, on the two bigger events that we have that we're tracking that everyone's talking about. First off, today, the Gaslight Festival Parade takes place in J-Town. Looks excellent for that. If you've never had a chance to go, it's a lot of fun for the family. Get there early to get a good spot, and the route kind of goes up and down the hill there on the side, not far away from along Taylorsville Road. It's really pretty parade, and a lot of pride in this parade too. Everyone gets excited about it. So Gaslight Festival, one of the more popular ones we have in the area, again tonight at 6 o'clock. So if you have a chance, get out there and enjoy it. Now, if you're not there, you're probably here at Bourbon and Beyond. They were testing the sound system yesterday when I went by on I-65, and my whole car just kind of like shook as it went by. I thought, well, this is going to be a fun couple of days, mainly because I'm jealous that I'm not there. I think, what is it? Brandy Carlisle is tonight, and Train, I think, is tonight. And then we have Duran Duran is this weekend, and Blondie is this weekend. So a lot of flashbacks there. But anyway, it's going to be a good time for the kickoff today. Tomorrow looks good. I mentioned in the tease, though, to get into the blog, there is a bit of an adjustment, and it will involve, looks like, Bourbon and Beyond. More on that in a second. Quick update on the fall color. This map finally got published. This updates automatically, And it's based on several different factors, but majority of it is going to be a lot of your typical deciduous trees, but maples and oaks usually will see change color. We have seen some reds here. We have some trees that are actually not far from the studio that are turning red, and some of that is again it's the state tree. I think it's the tulip. I think it's the tulip tree. My brother is a horticulturist, so I feel embarrassed when I don't know the tree names or anything. He'd be really ashamed of me. But anyway, if you know what I'm talking about, then yeah, you probably have some in your yard. But those are starting to turn red. You will start to see some maples. They can start to turn red. But cool nights like we've been having, upper 40s to lower 50s, and sunny, warm days, they do speed up the growth. The process, anyway, promoting reds and purples especially stand out. The yellows a little later, but the purples and reds will be some of the first, given the pattern that we're in right now of a lot of sunny days. So that looks to make sense. So I think that's going to be what we're going to see the majority of. Reminder, though, that we're not going to get to peak season typically here until about a week before Halloween, and usually on trick-or-treating night. That's pretty much the only sound you hear besides kids screaming from all the decor and everyone jumping out. It's the sound of the crunching leaves of the trick-or-treaters. So usually at that point, they're all on the ground. What can accelerate that would be a drought, which we hope don't get too much of here down the road. All right, Travis, you got 44 degrees. You're in northern Indiana, so thank you. Appreciate that. See, Donna, 48 there in Campbellsville. Nice and cool. Angie, it's like, yeah, my dogwoods are starting to change. Tulip poplar. That's it. Tulip poplar. Thank you, Rick. That's what I was referring to. We have two maples that are turning red on the top. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Yes, they will turn red where the sun hits it the most. So if it's next to another tree or it gets shade from your house, wherever the case is, you can tell if the sun rays are directly touching the leaves for the longest period of the day, that section of the tree will turn red first. And if the sun's hitting the whole tree full on all day, you should see a general evenness to it. But if it's only hitting the tops of the trees during the main heating of the day period in the sun angle, then you're only going to see the tops of them go red at first. So if you're wondering why that's the case, it's all about the sun angle. I can thank my brother for that. He did teach me that one. All right. But here's the problem, is that we may end up with a drying scenario. Autumn is 9 days away, technically on the calendar. This is the last weekend of summer. Halloween, 47 days, yay, and we set our clocks back. 52 days, and Christmas is 102 days away, and I haven't started anything on my shopping. Okay, here's the drought status. This was not a shocker. We were added back in, not technically in Louisville, but it's southeast Indiana and up 71 into Kentucky. This is the very low end of the scale, but based on the amount of rainfall that is showing up in the outlook over the next 10 to 20 days, this is likely going to expand. Now, as I've mentioned before on this map, we haven't talked about in a while because we had rain and we recovered from the beginning of the summer when we had drought status. They sampled the ground on Tuesdays. This map is then drawn Thursday morning. So this was the ground result from this week on Tuesday. So given the idea we're not going to see a lot of rain between now and Tuesday, I don't see any reason why this would not expand more. For next Thursday's update, I'll let you know. The problem with that is more of an issue that it will cause some of the trees to fall or their leaves to fall before they have a chance to show their true colors, and you'll end up with more of a brown leaf scenario or dead leaves that fall. That's not fun, right? So we don't want that. Radar is quiet, just a few clouds in southern Kentucky. So let's get into the weekend adjustments that I'm watching. We have a good setup today. Temperatures here in the city of Louisville, we hit 80 yesterday. I don't see why we wouldn't get into lower 80s today, because yesterday really would have been the coolest of this wave, so it likely will warm up. Quiet again tonight, but look across Tennessee. Keep your eye on Nashville. Notice a little batch of clouds there and some moisture. And while you're doing that, I want you guys to keep an eye on Illinois. That's where another piece of moisture is developing. These two areas are going to be the thorn in our side for rain chances for this weekend when it comes to getting anything done outside, whether it's the Gaslight Festival or Birmingham and beyond, because Saturday afternoon, the piece in Nashville surges north into central Kentucky. At the moment, we're betting on the idea of increasing clouds on Saturday, but you see some of the showers get awful close to Louisville. I do think the more south and east you are, you're a little more prone to be part of this wave. Nothing overly heavy, but it would cause some brief downpours of showers that could impact your plans outside. And I'm talking about, say, Marion County, Washington County, Kentucky, over to LaRue and Hardin. Right now, we'll at least put a low rain chance in for Louisville in case one or two of these sneak all the way up to the Ohio River. It's certainly possible, but the chance is higher to the south. So while we're monitoring that piece Saturday afternoon and evening, we're also watching the Illinois one. And this is where the model ends. And other models continue beyond this point. And what they do is they take this little feature that's back here in Illinois, and they dig it and dig it and dig it and move it right into the Ohio Valley. And then it quickly moves on out of here. Don't y'all love my squigglies? Just call me Bob Ross. As that moves on by, that is the thorn in our side for the rain chance, not for Saturday, but for Sunday. And if this ends up taking place and we end up being more overcast as it drifts over us, some of the modeling doesn't even get us out of the 60s for highs because of the rain on Sunday. If we get sun breaks, we can get into the 70s easily. If we avoid the rain and get sun breaks, then we'll easily get back into the 80-degree range. So Sunday is still the day. That's the day the entire week we've been saying is the only day that's kind of a bummer because we don't know yet how much moisture the system is going to have. So we've been bouncing around the rain chance on this, but I got a feeling we're going to have to at least bump it up a little to keep an eye on that little curl that comes through. That curl could still just stay north of us and miss us completely. I've seen that happen many times, and especially since it's not even fully on the map yet, that could still happen. So I don't want you to alter your plans. I just want you guys to be aware of this scenario. Be aware of this. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Be outside. Take your allergy meds, blah, blah, blah. But be aware of this scenario in case it were to happen, that you know what you need to do and seek shelter for a few moments while the rain passes on by. All right. Looking at the GFS ensembles, I always love looking at this to really illustrate a little better of the odds of rainfall or in some cases snowfall. But in the odds here, you see it's coming in roughly at about 30%. If you look here on the scale on the far left. So it's got a little bit of a bump there of roughly 30%. I think that's fair. 30% sounds good to me. We'll probably go about 20 on Saturday and 30 on Sunday, something like that. And then we get a break, and then it tries to start the rain chance again later next week. But I am not sold on that piece right there. More on that in just a second. Looking at the temperatures, by the way, there's the ups and downs, highs and lows over the next 10 days that are showing up on the GFS model. Notice where it's a little uncertain. It's a little uncertain Saturday night because there's a lot of squiggly lines. They're not all together. The black line is the leader, basically, of this, or the median, and the squiggly lines are the different potential ideas the model has that it could still go in a range on temperature, and the temperatures are on here on the left. And notice that it's a little uncertain Saturday night because of cloud cover, how thick the cloud cover will be. And on Sunday, it's a little uncertain on how warm we'll be because of cloud cover versus any rain. Quite a little bit of a spike. Some of the modeling, some of the most outliner of an idea on the modeling, outliner ensemble, is about 85 degrees for high, while others are much, much cooler, barely above 70. So Sunday is a bit of a challenge there on the highs because of that little swirly cue. Same thing for Sunday night. If clouds linger versus clearing, that will impact the lows. And then we get back to a little bit more of a confident warming trend as we head into the latter portion of next week. Okay, I'm going to stop there for a second. Are you guys good? Did that weekend setup make sense? Type 2, if it made sense. Type 2, if it made sense. And then I'll move on to next week's scenario and my concern there. What'd you say, Brandon? Good pot of chilly weather. There you go. You know, I was going to make it the other day. Decided I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until a cloudy, rainy, 50-degree type day. I'm going to wait for that. And I make a really crazy, spicy turkey chili. It's my favorite. Makes people cry. It's that good. At least I think that's why they're crying. I'm not really sure, to be honest. All right, everyone's got 2s. Everyone's good. Thank you very much. All right, so what happens after that? We get the little swirly cue out of here on Sunday. We sort of reset on temperature, but not too much. We will develop 2 different low pressures to our east, one being part of our weekend event, by the way, but this will become a coastal low. I don't know if this will become a subtropical, tropical type system or not. It may off the Carolina coast. That's important because we will likely have Nigel that'll be in the Atlantic. Nigel's going to try to make a run toward the United States. It'll look very much like what Lee is doing. And I think because we have this disruption, though, off the Carolina coast, Nigel is going to turn just like Lee did. So while that is all happening to our east, we're going to begin to get into a ridge and begin to heat up. As we begin to heat up, here comes a low pressure that is going to roll off the Rockies. It's going to have mountain snow We should have pictures or images of snow falling next week in the Rockies. Hopefully, I'll show them to you live when we get to that point. But as the low moves out, it moves into the plains. But this is a very classic setup here of a strong ridge. You've got a tropical system that is really trying to fight here on blocking the Atlantic. And you've got this low pressure that's really slow to come off the Rockies. I like the idea of this low taking a long time to get here. The problem with that, two things, with it being slower in arrival, the warmer or hotter we can get. And once it does arrive, it could have some stronger storms with it because of the amount of warmth we've gained. So that's possible. But two, because it was slow to arrive, it would likely be slow to leave. So we will likely get at least some rain out of it that may last more than just 12 hours at a time. So that'll be a plus, right? But that would take a while before we got to that point. This is the first day, almost the second day really, of autumn that you're looking at here. And I think it's looking quite warm. The PNA, this is a teleconnection for the Pacific jet stream. You'll be hearing me talk about this a lot in the wintertime. Why am I showing you this now? Well, because it is mainly going negative for the end portion here of September. It's below the black line in the middle. That translates to East Coast warmth, West Coast chilly air, hence the snow in the Rockies. So as a result, I've added a 90 back in the forecast. This will be about next Friday, the last day actually of summer. And even the first day of autumn will be likely well into the 80s. Now, it's not going to be humid at 90, like we're not going to have a heat index, anything like that. But I do think 90 is reachable. This is not that unusual. We hit 96 degrees on the 21st of September last year. And that was our last 90 of the year, was last year. And it was 96, and that was a drought that did that. We've had 90s all the way into the first week of October, which was a record, which happened in 2019. A lot of you remember that. That was an ugly fall. That was not a pretty one. I don't think any color on the tree showed up other than brown. I've been just foreign, hit the ground. Everything was dead, right? So we get to see the bright yellows and oranges and purples that we look forward to every year. But this type of scenario with the drought developing now, or trying to develop, not a lot of rainfall in the forecast. We got that Saturday and Sunday little mess there, but it's not a lot of rainfall. So therefore, my gut feeling on this is that we're going to heat up, and I think 90 is reachable again. So that's the reason why I've been holding off on saying that we're done with the 90s, because I just, it's just noisy in the back of the head that something like this is going to pop in. After that, we'll see if we have to deal with any stronger thunderstorms when that low finally does roll in, but it's beyond the 10-day range. It's probably going to be the 24th, 25th of September before it does arrive. And we'll just take it one step at a time and see what it brings us at that point. But next week is going to be a summer week. So for Louder Than Life, it will be warmer, if not hotter, obviously, than what Bourbon and Beyond's dealing with. And we'll just have to see whether or not that low gets here in time to influence any rain chances. If it's slow, you may get through all the way into Sunday next weekend for Louder Than Life without any rain. If it speeds up, obviously, the rain chance will increase as well. All right, guys, there you go. Amanda, I'm so ready for fall. I know this is a teaser. It's always like this, right? We get this little teaser of rain and or at least cooler weather, temperatures in the 40s, and then this happens. This fights back every time. But this is pretty typical for our area. We usually have these little false hopes to kick in like this. Maybe that's a sign, though, that it's going to get really chilly in October. And you know what? I do think that's the case. I'll have more on that coming up tomorrow on The Block.